Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of King Mighty Calvin
King
Just.
Mighty Kissed Calvin
Very much so.
Goodness me.
You'll play multiple rookies this week.
That's where the points are.
Oh, wow. How do you do it?
It's just how you coach
I
your
tell
kids.
you what, it is. And
Yeah.
the patience you show with them, that's what I respect.
I don't know if it's patience. It's just, you just can't get rid of them.
No, well,
Like,
That is pure
you
kissness.
sit through the 40s
I know.
and 40s
Yeah.
and just wait.
Because I always keep
Somehow
thinking
swim through that
at some
500
point-
yards.
yeah, at some point they will reward you.
Well, yes, and good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Great
So,
persistence.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Cal, you were the top scorer out of us for round 19. It was, wasn't
look,
it?
basically
With a 23.97, a kick-off each week.
We call it 2400.
Every week.
We call it 2400. My
I don't
team
know.
does.
No, sorry, we're not allowed to.
My team does. We round that up. We're like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I would too.
Yeah, that, yep.
I'm knocking on the door of that 10,000 club,
Still
Roy.
knocking on the door.
So as long as Dog's on the door way back behind me,
A few points behind. That's
Hey?
all right. There's plenty of time left.
Hey,
5
Roy.
weeks to go.
the margin grew again.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. By 12 points.
Hey.
That's it.
Hey, it grew.
23.85 for the Warn Dogs in second place out of us. Could have been just 10 points, but I went the loop-de-doop.
See?
I put Himmelberg on the pine because I had Windhager, Cow.
Hey, yeah.
You know, I was a little bit worried about Himmelberg slightly. That see, Hogan was out and they brought in
Haynes, I think, was it? Yeah.
Thought, there's that every chance. When they keep saying, he's still an option to go forward, he's still an option to go forward, I thought, if that happens, I can bench him and then play
What have
Windy
You're a
instead.
cheat.
What have you learned about all that?
What have I learned about that?
Cheaters
What?
never prosper.
Never.
What I learned about it was that I probably should just be like you and play rookies. Windhager would have got me 2 more points.
Yeah, 100%. You mess around with your
Too right.
loopholes and all this sort of creative rubbish that you do.
Cheating.
Speaking of loopholes, we'll get there in a moment. But Roy, you had a 23.40.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, down on my usual standards, but I stayed inside the top 3,000 there, so I'll take that.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
Who wants to start?
I will, because he gets a mention every week. I'm just not sure where he's going to get a mention. We're talking Sick Dog.
Yeah.
Now, you guys would be thinking, surely Cow's got to give it to Windhager.
Oh, I
for his-
reckon. That's what I was
should be.
waiting for.
No, because that's what I expect from him.
Oh, you
He's 2 tons in a row. He'd actually be one of my best players over the last 2 weeks.
How disrespectful.
Yeah, but him and I have got a relationship where he knows that's what I expect now. Whereas the Sick Dog, 60-odd last week, comes back, starts barking around the place.
It's just exactly what we expected from him.
Yeah, he had a day. He had a day, and he's got more days to come.
No, I've got a flag for you on that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know. We won't talk about it now.
Ooh.
He's in a lot of trouble this week.
He's not.
2 of your players are, and they might be the ones we just spoke about.
Oh, you are full of it.
Flag.
No.
I'll give my +3 to Jack Steele for 133. Picked him up this week. He was my
Jack's back.
Lairdy replacement.
You're always like 1 or 2 weeks behind.
I
though,
know
aren't you?
I am. The other one was instant reward for that, but my 2 ins, DP3, Patrick Parish.
The
he got a ton.
better bomber, I call him.
Better bomber.
He, that was all right to get, what's that maths on that one? 241 points from my
Yeah.
2 trade-ins.
That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'd be happy with that. My +3 goes to the Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Now, carrying that VC responsibility, if he didn't go well and I took it on, I would have got a sub 100 from my captain probably, because I would have rolled into Dawson.
Yeah.
So I'm giving a +3 just for getting that out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
128.
Jordan Pawson. That was disgraceful.
No, but you know what? Hey,
That was terrible.
No, it worked.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Right, it's lots of
Awesome.
people that are learning how to fire rockets.
He's learning how to... You tell me that I'm not funny. That is one of the worst things I've ever
because
read.
that level of humour is layered. Multiple layers of humour in it, and you wouldn't even see it. It's like a corny It's
No, that's not even corny.
Yes.
You can't even try to claim that.
you
can't get there and say, "Oh no, I was just trying to be corny with it."
No, that's like
No,
multiple
you sat back
layers.
there with your little smug head.
No.
I
got one here.
That was
Got
good. People will think that's funny. Actually,
No.
you know who would find that funny? Your fantasy team, because they're full of kids. It's like a little. You could have rolled into your kindergarten and said that.
Top score for the week, mate.
Yes, you
So
did. Well done.
just-
But yeah, no, that's why Bont got my VC +3.
There
Right.
you go. There you go.
Let's go the other way.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
Now, we might as well just give it to Essendon. Here.
Not their defenders.
Well, no. The rabble that is,
Yeah, they're not
the
good.
pathetic
Yeah.
group of players they call themselves.
Yeah.
That's comedy. That's comedy for you, Destroy.
wasn't
It
a good
is.
start to the round.
Okay, let's start with Ben Hobbs.
Sucked in.
Right?
Sucked in.
So he comes out first quarter, 21 points.
Why are you playing your rookie still?
He's not a rookie. 21 points. I'm
Yes.
like, geez, that's all right. He's got to finish on 84. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great day.
Take that.
He then goes on to score 9, 6, and 7.
How?
6 and 7. 13 points in the second half.
That's pretty much the story of what the Bombers look like as well. All right in the first quarter and then awful
But-
after.
Yes, he gets it.
Yeah.
But I also did what you did, and you can go on next.
Okay, I will. And I blame Warren.
Yes!
Dog.
Hey,
Yeah.
go back and listen to
Not
the tapes.
often.
I told you not to
Do I
get
listen
him.
to his advice?
Yep.
But with this one, I did because he said he's the best player in the AFL.
Yep.
Taking all these marks down back.
Yep. Oh,
I'm talking about my trade in where Warney gets his little +3, 133 Jack Steele. I get a little 88
Yeah.
from Zach
Zach.
Merrett. Now, yeah, okay.
Trade him out then. Please trade him out.
Well, I
this
think
week.
I will. Now, I've been accused of saying some things about Merrett before in the past.
Yep.
And this is why you shouldn't have picked him.
Yes, you are correct because I was spot on. Those defenders, okay, a major reason we got him in is because of those marks he's been taking and, with all due respect, fleabagging.
Fleabagging.
Down
Beautiful fleabagging.
as the seventh defender almost, just taking easy little marks. Those defenders averaged what? Probably 12 marks
Yeah.
minimum from the Bombers.
Yep.
You know what Zach did on debut? How many he took? 2!
Yep.
2 marks.
Hobbsy got
88.
1. Yeah. They're just disgusting.
Now, I am hoping that his draw ahead makes up for that mess because he's got a couple of easy games.
He does, and we will talk about the scale later, but he's got Sydney this week.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That should be 100, but it's the next two. That I've
Yeah,
got.
it's West Coast, North Melbourne.
I was always thinking I need to get him in before there.
Yeah.
Should have waited.
Should have waited. Yeah, he's
-3.
horrible.
I'm genuinely angry about
Yep.
it.
So you picked him up coming off his lowest score of the season.
Yeah.
So you picked up a guy that had an 80.
Yes.
And then had an 88 and you're expecting something better. He improved on last week.
I expected.
He was tagged last week.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yep.
I did not pay any attention to that 80 tagged down at the Cattery. He's not made to be able to sustain a decent
Now-
score down there.
I'd hate to say this, Roy, but is he still in the rolling?
No, he's out. He was sitting number 2. He's so far gone. You can't do 2 80s in a row.
No.
Well, I'll give my -3 to a bloke that I had at the top of the rolling 22 in the midfield. Andy Brayshaw.
Oh,
91.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bray.
He's just disappointing.
He is.
One, it's disappointing that you had him at number 1. 2, it's disappointing that you even attempted the rolling 22.
Yeah.
3,
You're not-
sucked in.
You're not qualified.
Oh, no, not sucked in. I've got him as well.
Yeah.
But still.
He sucked. Just a quick look at the leaderboard. We've got 5 weeks to go. Darren's team, Wise Ocean Pods, is now on top. Just had a good round, with a 24-49,
Oh, man, oh, man.
which was a bit more than old Fleabaggers. So he's got a 7-point lead there on Jonathan, who's been sitting on top the last few weeks. Old Steen and Dr. Drill, that's moving along pretty well too. So that's in 3rd place there. So that's where the difference is at the moment. It's all very close at the top.
Nerve-wracking. It'd be horrific to be up there.
Just a Matt Mottram update. So he had a 24.59. He's up to 7th spot
Right, well, he's back.
overall. So
Can he
looking
get
pretty
there,
good.
dog?
Yeah, I think he can. It's definitely he can. So how many points is that? So 42, 493. Yeah, 209 points.
So it's going to be
5
tough.
weeks.
But
Doesn't take much, though.
there's going to be late outs and all sorts going on.
What it probably comes down to is getting the right captain.
Well, can you help in any way there?
I'm going to start this week, yeah.
You had Zach Merrett right up there.
Once again, I can't do everything for him, can I? Coming off 2 150s under the roof.
Coming off 80 last week, mate.
Now, you only look at the roof, mate.
I thought the 150s under the roof were more a reflection of what we were going to get than an 88.
An 88. 2 fat ladies. That's not on.
Not good. No. Good number. That's what I wore it. Oh, else.
You did.
Yeah, premiership winning year. Right, round 19 votes for the cash cow of the year and 116 points thanks to 28 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles. It's a broken record here at the moment, but Harry Sheezel gets the 5
He's
votes.
so good.
Every week.
Will Phillips is one of my old boys from this year. He had 11 tackles to help his way to 94 points, and that got him the 4 votes.
Adding 20k this week to get him up to a very respectable 580k.
Wow.
Darcy Wilmot scored 90 to gain himself 3 votes. He's had a great run of games since the buys.
2 votes for Cade Chandler, who booted 3 goals on Sunday for 83 fantasy points.
Anthony Caminiti played 96% time on ground to help him pad his stats to finish with 76 points for round 19.
Now, the leaderboard, Sheezel is on 67 votes, and it's all but done. He is the Michael Barlow medalist for 2024.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
So while we can celebrate Shee's getting that, his only challenger was, unfortunately, Will Ashcroft, who did his knee, which is not good, and confirmed ACL. So obviously season done, and a fair chunk of next year will be game over for him for what was an epic season, which he was rising star favourite. Can he still win it? Hopefully he can.
I still think they give it to him. I still think he
He's
can
still
win it.
well and truly in the mix.
Like 19 games is a lot.
Yeah, and just a role. So playing in the midfield.
Next to Neil and Dunkley. Like it's a...
Yeah, so
Hasn't done anything other than that.
Yeah.
Like he's been
that's the funny
entrusted
thing.
into that.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, isn't it? So obviously it's between him and the Shees. The Shees is dominated in a very friendly role for a very bad team. Ashcroft, like you said, to break into that midfield and contribute to a top 4 team.
Yeah.
That will hold a fair bit of weight. So it's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I still think he gets it.
Jared Lyons comes straight in now.
Oh, there you go.
Anyone dump him from draft after he got dropped?
Yeah, I think I would have in one of my leagues.
Go hunting. Rightio. Other news. Sam Walsh,
come
Roy, Hammy. Not good news there for him or for the Blues. So that looks like probably the rest of the fantasy season or close enough to.
Have you heard?
No.
No, okay. Dr. Destroy. It was minor.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. So it won't be too long till we see him again, I don't think. Fast
Couple of
year
weeks?
or two, traditionally.
He
yeah.
is a fast year.
A couple of weeks, I think. Yeah.
He's broken back and
spinal.
He was,
And he comes back in a couple of weeks from anything.
and then he comes back well as
Yes,
well. That's
yes,
the thing. I
correct.
think when he came back this year.
Yeah, with the
That was an
100
epic.
streak.
he
Yeah.
prefers to come back off an injury.
He does.
He
He
loves,
loves it. So look to pick him up as soon as he's
Now,
back.
to put our fantasy hats on there, that midfield, because they've got, so Cripps was out and Chera was out.
Yes.
Both tests for this week. They play Friday night, I think it is. So, I guess interesting for that midfield because of old mate Hewett, who we'll chat about a little bit later.
Certainly
as
is
well.
interesting
So,
for Super Yui.
Jack Silvani, Jardy's knee was subbed out in that game as well. Jesse Motloff, a calf. And Paddy Dow was on the injury list. And
Oh,
it
no.
said TBC, and I'm not sure what that was. But, again, that's a few bodies
It is.
that could be an
The
issue.
form
for
team
them.
of the competition.
Yeah, well, yes.
Luke Shuey, hamstring. So that's him probably getting close to game over there as well for the year. This is the point of the season that we're...
Yeah, that poor dude. That might be the end of him.
Jeez.
He can't put it.
No, he
string
can't.
of 2 games
He's
together.
struggling.
He is.
In that game too, Barras was laid out with a shoulder, which certainly helped big see Kerno in the back line to do what he wanted.
My goodness. Did you look at some of his goals?
I did.
He got lucky on a couple.
Not only is he super cute, his ability to snag goals is second to none.
Isaac Rankin. So speaking of those hamstrings, that was a bad hamstring. So he was dominating that game.
It was.
He had a 90-point game with 3 goals. So that one's a game over. Do you
Yeah.
think, Roy?
Yeah, so my diagnosis for him, Cal,
Yep.
very bad hammy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, very bad hammy.
Nick Murray, he hurt his knee as well there. Now, from the Crows, as we're talking about them, Rory Laird was the big news of last week. So he was out with a shoulder. Thankfully, the Crows, Nixie told us in the presser on the Thursday.
Yes.
So we knew we could plan. It wasn't going to be a laid out because they played a Sunday game. What do we know? Anything else from that?
Oh, look,
Have you been doing any
I
sourcing,
have.
Destroy?
I have. If it was just early in the season, this would be a minimum 4-weeker.
Right.
Now, because Rory, he's a tough little nugget.
Yep.
If they're a sniff of finals and they need wins, he may come back early. But, it's a 4 or 5 week injury.
They're a couple of games out of the 8.
Yeah, 13th on the ladder. They've got Port Adelaide this week.
Yeah. So, I think he's on ice.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Not
Which
good
sucks for draft.
No.
Sucks really bad.
And, hey,
That would have been a pretty
this
high-
is not guaranteed. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Bit of a couple of squirts
Are
coming through.
you ever wrong?
No.
Jordan Ridley was one of the defenders who was getting amongst it on Friday night for the Bombers, is what they did. But he hurt his quad, so it looks like a strain for him. So you'd say he will be out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Tanner Bruin was banged up and subbed out on Saturday evening. Now, Brad Hill yesterday went to hospital after that basically heavy bump that he copped. So chest. We'll see where that looks, but he's probably missing, isn't he?
Reminded me of the day Cal went courageously running back with the flight of the ball and hit the bloody best letterbox. That
Do you have
letterbox.
flashbacks from that?
No, but every time I see someone running back with a flight, I do get nervous.
Think of the letterbox.
So most people think of,
Didn't move at all. I don't know how much concrete they used to put
was
that
a-
thing in the ground, but
It's a very firm letterbox.
what did he sound like?
Yeah. Well, no.
I thought he had a punctured lung.
I basically did.
Broken sternum.
Broken sternum and 2 ribs, and I couldn't breathe. So, you need those to move, to breathe.
Yeah,
and I
know.
couldn't breathe.
Sounded like he had the black lung.
Yeah, I did.
How long were you out for that?
Oh, a while.
You were?
While. I couldn't play basketball and that
No.
for a bit. And even now, when I do a push-up, and I don't do a lot, I'll be honest, it clicks.
Does it?
It sounds like someone's
20-something years ago.
Sounds like, someone's there, click a mic. 1,
You know how
2,
Sam Walsh
3.
is a fast healer. How's the opposite?
So anyway, no, it was good.
Geez, you've been doing some dips as well. You'll split in half.
Oh, no.
You be careful with that.
Yeah, so letterbox 1, Calvinator yet to
Bloody
score.
oath, it was one.
Liam Shields, calf. He was subbed out. He was dominating too. You've got him in draft, don't you, Cal?
I did. I grabbed him off the scrap heap.
Oh, look at your little smug head.
Mate,
this
he had
weekend.
90 in 50% game time.
Killing.
Dominated. Now, the big news out of this didn't really get revealed until the presser.
Right.
No.
And this is Ross Lyon about Rowan Marshall. So he almost didn't play. Disaster for fantasy. Last game of the round. Trades are done. We don't have benches for our
Got to
rucks.
sit and watch.
So he had a fitness test before the game. Now, Tom Campbell, he was looking like he was going to play.
Yep.
That even, basically, he was held over from the VFL.
Yes.
90% you called it, Roy.
Yeah, he was expecting to play.
So Ross said that he played under real duress. So I made comment when we were watching the last quarter there. He's up forward. He's probably being looked after. Obviously scored bloody well. What
Yeah,
was
he
it?
was still good.
27, I think.
So
it
I
was,
got a
wasn't it?
member of Team Awesome Sauce looking over.
Thank God.
123, sorry.
Can't reveal his name, but yes, his work is very much appreciated on this matter.
Yep.
So Marshall, it's not uncommon that he's been playing really sore
Yeah.
due to his heavy workload.
Yep.
That's why you see big dum-de-dum emergency
Yep.
every week. But Tom fully expected to play this week, AFL.
And look, can we take a moment just to have a thought for Tom and the stress he goes through each week?
Because He can play AFL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you reckon he held off his fantasy trades?
He would have.
He would have.
Now, here's the thing.
Probably had
What would have he
himself
done?
coming in.
What would have he done now that he knew that when he worked out that he wasn't playing? They would have had to have locked their phones away by then anyway.
I know, because I bet Tom had himself in. Sneaky little move.
He probably
Yep.
traded Rowan to himself.
Rowan to himself.
Will he play this week?
Well, that's going to be a big watch, I reckon.
Huge.
I don't know if he will.
So they're playing against Hawthorn.
They could lose that, though. They're the worst team to ever be in the top 8.
I think I heard this stat properly before. They haven't dropped below 6th on the ladder all season.
It's just
Does
unbelievable.
that sound right?
Because they play North Melbourne and West Coast every week.
How do they do that? They must play them 4 times each year.
Because Hawthorn they won't have Reeves.
So MRO, Reeves has been offered a match.
So they might as well just go Tom Campbell against Lloyd Meek. And give Roro a
He'd
week
more
off.
than hold his own.
Because it's Jack Hayes as well.
Yes.
Is that positive for Rowan Marshall to stay in?
According to sources, yes.
Yeah, right.
If he's able.
Lessens the workload. Obviously, fantasy-wise, it'd see him play a bit more forward for a rest. Because Hayes can chop out
So that game
reasonably well.
That game is first up on Sunday.
My source is just telling me there was some form of tightness for Rowan Marshall.
Oh, we all get that.
Tightness.
Toit.
Tweet, look at Toiga.
Right.
Okay.
The other couple of names there just worth mentioning is Bont, who had his leg strapped.
Oh, the cough.
It wasn't enough for you to take the VC off him, though.
No, you can't jump at shadows.
No.
Although I did crap myself.
Did you?
When I saw it. Yeah. it was funny. So it was my son that actually said to me as Bont ran out, he goes, look at the strapping on Bont's calf. He didn't have that last week. And I was like, oh, boy, I didn't see that. And then he goes, I don't think he'll be doing any ruck contests, so he must
won't.
have a calf.
So,
And I was like, yeah, man, I would have jumped at the shadow if it was my C on him, but I was still happy to roll the VC.
and he rewarded.
He did reward, but it was an actual thing, dog. They talked about it later, didn't they?
Yep.
And what was it? Calf awareness, basically. So he's
Sore, tight
fully
calf
aware
type
he's
thing.
got a lower leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
He might be a watch for this week as well.
Oh, look at the non-bond owner.
Smirky.
Might be a watch for this week.
See,
Playing at Ballarat, could snow.
No.
Strange things happen at Ballarat.
Strange, amazing things happen at Ballarat.
Strange things happen.
No, you wait.
Anything can
I reckon
happen.
Bont could go 150 at Ballarat.
At the Rat, yeah. He could. Imagine Ratkins playing at the Rat.
Oh.
What a formula.
200.
He's been good too.
A couple of other names worth
has.
mentioning here. Oh, other MROs.
plague, rat plague.
Podreski-Seaton got 2 matches. Willie Rowley 2 matches. But the other one that I did note here, Cow, you're an owner of James Sicily.
Oh, yeah. Proud owner.
Bit of an ankle early in the game.
Oh,
Played through it.
that's the dog for you.
That one to watch?
No, nothing to watch. Nothing to watch.
I
Now,
tell you what is something to watch. The
What do-
amount of free kicks he gets away with and
yeah.
gets given, unbelievable,
Yep.
isn't it?
yep,
It's amazing.
that's beautiful to watch.
Hi, I'm Nat Edwards. The only place to get your daily footy news inside 20 minutes is on AFL Daily. Get the jump on other fans each weekday morning as AFL Daily sets the agenda on footy's biggest stories. A no-holds-barred, introspective look at the AFL world hits your podcast inbox each morning at 7:30. So subscribe to AFL Daily wherever you get your podcasts to never miss a moment.
All right, it's a big 5 weeks to go in AFL Fantasy. We're excited about it, especially as we're approaching finals. So for most normal leagues, you've got 1 week before finals. So this is the do or die. This is if you go on the traditional final 8.
Yeah.
And you've got your 4 weeks to go with that. So that
And
will
I
start the final
always
week.
recommend you do and don't die. So, a do or die battle, just do.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't think. All right. So that's all happening. That's coming up. And we're at a point, bar Calvin's little playground that he's got in his team, but where you've pretty much got
let
a
the
team
kids play.
full of premiums, or what we say premiums, good players that aren't so much the real... You've got... You're deciding on a bit of priority of trading with some of these guys now, and you want to get guys that are going to be playing well for the rest of the season. That's not a bad strategy, regardless of who you've got in your team. So
Calvin's written off finals, though. He's getting games into the kids. So
That's it.
just ignore that.
So the only thing that we can do is look at some of Calvin's data.
Oh.
Or
Statistics.
The what?
Statistics.
Table. Cow scale of hardness.
Don't know why you do it to me, dog.
Right. So
It's cruel.
the scale of hardness,
It is.
long story short of it, you crunch the numbers.
Yep.
You look at what teams give up to certain positions, and that's on the roles, not the fantasy position.
Correct.
It is the role that they're playing. So
Correct.
Key ones are obviously defenders and midfielders, because realistically, that's what our whole team's made up
Yeah,
of.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want forwards.
No.
No.
Like
There are a
Canelio's-
couple that
Canelio, of course, is a forward, but he named as a forward but plays in the mid.
Yeah.
Right. So let's have a look at it. So for defenders, we need to talk about Hawthorn.
Yep.
I'm worried about this little scoop that you've got for me about the St Kilda, but we need to talk about Sick Dog. So he's got St Kilda this week, who
Yeah.
he played earlier in the year, and he had 165 in round 11.
That won't be happening.
See, so last week against St Kilda, Core, is it Aiden Core?
Hard.
Right?
No, it's hard.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Took 8 marks. Right? All their defenders, they racked up.
Right.
They took a lot of marks. Sick Dog will do the same, unless you've got something that you need to tell me.
I've got a squirt.
Go.
Right.
And it's going to kill 2 of your players with one stone.
Go.
You beaut.
Windhager is tagging Sick Dog.
I love it.
Both sub 80.
That is not even
Now-
any chance to happen.
Is that a squirt, or is that just Roy just being...
No, that's Roy.
That's just me. Sorry.
Because didn't Windy play off the half back as well? That was
Yeah,
what
he did.
throw was. Yeah. Anyway, so Sick Dog.
Trying
Sick
to
Dog
plant a seed in Ross's
is
head.
a genuine option, obviously, with the draw coming up. So he goes dark green. I'm not going to use the team names because that's not important.
No.
Light green, light green, light green
Yeah, right.
into your Freo, which is also good for your Will Day. So Will Day's been, 93 in his last 3 weeks.
What colours are Freo?
Freo?
I'm not going to use team names. I'm just going to use colours.
Red.
Oh, are they right?
So-
Well, that's handy to know.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows that Fremantle don't give up points to defenders.
Well, if they check the scale, they would, mate.
Well, that's true.
it.
That's true.
Look,
So a great draw for the Hawks.
great draw for the Hawks.
So you're not moving on a Will Day, because I think a few would be keen to do that. He
He was okay last week. He's been okay.
only got an 80 last week.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to, though,
I
at this
know.
time of the season.
It does. You're chasing points now.
So
You're
for
not bringing in someone that scored an 80 the last week, Roy.
No, you're not.
now, this is defenders we're talking. So we'll move on as well because Carlton they go light green, white. So they've got a great
Goodness
draw coming
me.
up as well, which is your Docherty. But Docherty,
Docherty's up the ground more.
he was back in the guts this week. So I had a look at his CBAs. So he was at 58% of the CBAs after not being in there once for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But with their outs, that's probably going to be the case again.
Yeah, well, we said it
Didn't
last
hurt his
week.
scoring, though, just
No.
quietly.
When we knew Cripper and Chero were out, Doc was always going to have a bump in CBA.
Yep.
So we saw that happen. Those two, they'll be back this week. But Doc will still get a couple.
Yep.
Not as many. He won't be as required as he was this week.
No, and then he gets St Kilda
Yeah.
the week after.
He'll monster them.
Now, as far as defenders goes, that's Hawthorn and Carlton. Richmond also have a good draw as well for defenders. I'm going to throw some names at you here, and they're not the greatest names going around, but I want you to...
This is where the scale can derail. the
Well,
season.
no, because... Yeah, you're right. Yes, it can. Okay. Nick Newman.
Yes.
He has gone 93, 108, 108. He's low.
With a good draw.
700s. Good draw coming up.
Yeah.
1.2% ownership.
Yeah.
If you are looking to be a little bit creative,
Yeah.
he has form
He does.
and he has a draw coming up.
And he has a fantasy game.
And he has a fantasy game.
Yeah.
So Nick Newman, $7.43, not
Yeah.
a bad price.
No, it can turn to crap.
Yes,
at any
agreed.
given stage, but he can also pump out big ones.
Well,
So-
even against Hawthorn, he had a 68.
Yeah.
so he can do that. But yes,
Hawthorn's only a white team here, dog.
Okay.
I agree. He'll lap it up with a 90 plus average over the
Yes. So this is defenders we're still talking here.
green patch.
Poor runs for defenders coming up are Geelong and Port Adelaide. So they have a couple of really tough, like Geelong go red.
So Geelong,
Geelong
well,
go-
they're at GMHBA, aren't they?
I know, and there's the other thing.
But like a Tom Stewart, are you saying you could tick off trading out Tom Stewart?
No, but I wouldn't be bringing him in.
Right.
Yeah, I think you
That's
can.
fair.
I think you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's for defenders.
And who was the other team? You said
So Hawthorn,
Port
Carlton,
Adelaide. So
Yeah.
Dan Houston.
At Dan Houston, we've got a problem. Yes, because Adelaide are the hardest team to score against. Plays them this week. They give up the least amount of uncontested marks.
Yeah, right.
So
For defenders or just
yeah,
in
for
general?
defenders.
Yeah, okay.
Houston's been good.
He has
He's
been really
great.
good.
But you wouldn't bring him in.
Well, not off the back of what I just
No.
said, and even with that, so Port Adelaide go red, orange, white, red.
Yeah, not great.
It's not a great run.
No.
I'll move into the midfielders because Brisbane.
A lot of our team will be.
Well, yeah, Brisbane have an amazing run coming up. So they go green, white, green, dark green to finish.
Gee, do they?
So they are obviously your Dunkley,
yeah.
your Neil. So Dunkley, dog, 112 last week in his comeback game. You told me before that he's 1% ownership in the top 1,000.
Yeah, that's changing.
But it's changing as we speak.
It is, but I'll tell you what, not everyone will be able to do it. So
Not everyone will be able to do it.
chasing a pod is never recommended. But if you're getting a pod and it's Dunkley,
Yeah.
that's
All
all
right.
right, isn't it?
What about McCluggage then at 1.3% ownership?
That's chasing a pod.
Listen to his last four: 90, 104, 118, 116.
Get him in.
Look, no, I'm with you. That's not ever a move that I would make, but we're
Given
talking
that-
Brisbane.
You
Gosh,
just want
given
that bigger
form-
ceiling, though,
Form and
if you were chasing that. I
green run. Oh, man.
The other team to look
think. No,
at,
Ashcroft.
the other one to look at again is going to be Carlton, and that's where we can talk Super Huey.
Right.
Because the draw for them, for midfielders, is also amazing. And your boy, Roy,
Yeah.
he was back doing what he does.
He was.
73% of the CBAs,
Yeah.
a team high behind the Conning.
Yeah.
That's what he'll be now.
Yeah, 100%. Too right. So he had his 30 touches.
Yep.
Now, what was down?
The tackles were down.
He didn't take a mark,
Yep.
which they probably tagged him.
Oh, they
He's
pro-
so good. No,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't really. But he's usually good for 1 or 2 marks. He's not a high marker. But his tackle count was only 2, I think, which I had him down for 5 or 6, which
Yeah.
would have put him well over the 100 mark.
Yes.
Now, I think he's a 90. Well, I said it last week. I think he's a 90-plus guy now for the rest of the season.
Yep.
So he's a bargain.
31 touches, as you said, 0 marks, 2 tackles.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's still more meat on the bone.
There is. Because he's good for that. He's good for 25-plus touches, and he'll lay more tackles this week because he plays a way better team.
He does. He'll need to. The other one there is to look at as well. So also with good draws, Hawthorn, West Coast, Richmond, North Melbourne. If you see anybody there, maybe an LDU. He was good again.
He got there in the end.
He got
I
there.
think he got a late update to get his ton as well. In the
Yeah.
end.
So that's 3 on the trot now.
Yes.
So it's fair to say, well, not that we didn't think it was a good pick last week, but 3 in a row now. He's an underpriced premium, you can call him.
Yep.
Again.
With
Essendon,
enough of a
yep.
draw to come. Yeah.
Yes.
Essendon as well, once they get past this Sydney one we said before, they go into West Coast, North Melbourne. The team that doesn't have a very good run is GWS. So they go white, red, white, red.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Port's in that, I assume. 'Cause
Uh,
Port's like the hardest, aren't they?
Port's in there, your Blues are in there, Sydney's in there, and they've got the Bulldogs this week, which is obviously that Mars game. So they,
Anything can
it's
happen.
players like your Josh Kellys. Like it's,
Yeah.
I don't.
Because Josh Kelly at 800k looks like
Oh,
a good
it's
buy
great.
Delicious.
if you don't have the baggage that we might have after
Yes.
having him in
and I just think
twice
that
this year.
there's other players around Josh Kelly. You don't need to have your Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are other options,
Like an LDU.
like an LDU.
Yeah.
You'd go there instead of Josh
Well,
Kelly.
he's got runs on the board and he's got
An easier
a draw
run.
coming up. Like it's whereas Kelly's been good,
Yeah.
but
But if this draw, especially if you're already riding a cogs sitting there as well,
Yeah.
like
You don't want.
you're spreading.
Like, I don't
you're
mind
spreading your
having a
points.
dude in there already who's got a bad draw, but you don't want to bring
Yeah.
someone to accompany him through that draw, do you?
No. As far as rucks go, probably the only one there we'll look at, because if Rowan is out or there are issues there, then we'll be going to Max Gawn, yeah?
Well, I won't, will I?
No, you can't.
No.
So who will you go to?
God, I'm going to vomit if I ever have to do it.
So, okay, let's have that discussion.
Tim.
Yep.
Do you want to have that discussion?
I think we should.
Yeah, why not?
You done with your scale?
Scale never ends, but yes.
Derail of hardness?
No.
Times it'll be.
Oh, yeah, that
So-
did me that year. Phew.
Yeah.
Don't take me
Right.
back to that.
It'll come and get you.
So, trades and holding them is almost the conversation, isn't it? It's like going, so
Yeah.
they play the first game on the Sunday, the Saints, when I say they, and that's Rowan Marshall. Now, the issue with that is we may not know news. It could be
Off.
you got a cramp.
Yep, hamstring.
Hamstring awareness.
Sam Walsh. Oh.
I'd like to know what severity of this one is here, Roy.
Low compared to Sam, but still.
Would you sub yourself out?
Nah, I could run it off.
Yeah.
Just got to,
Strap it up.
it's just going to take slightest wrong movement here and it'll go again.
Right. How old we are. Cramp up on a podcast.
Oh, man.
So,
I need more salt. Where are those anchovies?
let's look at this then.
Right.
So, your trades this week, whatever you're doing, do you need to have one in the back pocket or be holding off for that? Because if that's another pre-game
Like a weekly test.
test,
It's a
or
huge
could you
concern.
just be aggressive and go, let's bank some coin, going from Rowan Marshall down to Maximus?
Yeah. People in
What do you
that
get,
position could think
150
about
or
it.
so?
Yeah.
Because this is where we're in that position in a way, Roy. Well, you're not because
No.
you've already got Max Gawn, but we've got Will Ashcroft, and so we were rolling him still on
Yes.
field. So
If you're going to hold off
Getting-
on the Rowan Marshall trade, right?
Yeah.
You're going to hold off and you're going to wait till Sunday.
yeah, who is there to get is the other.
And
issue.
Rowan plays. Now you've got a trade. These are the teams you've got. Obviously, Hawthorn, St Kilda, Richmond, Melbourne, Eagles, North.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have a lot.
You got Melbourne. You got the only other guy you want.
Yeah, but if he plays,
If he plays.
Ah,
what are you going to do with that other trade?
now I'm with you. So.
Yeah. There's an LDU,
Yeah.
you know?
He's a good option.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I guess you do, but yeah, playing that late.
You're away from your ideal trades, aren't you? You might have to be in that position where it could be see you later, a Will Day, for example,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bring in.
A sick dog.
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez.
Sick dog being tagged by
Look,
one
But
day.
then
we'll
you're
get-
needing a lot of coin for that.
We need sources.
We do.
Definitely.
Sources need to get very
On that.
active. But all they're going to
And of all
say,
coaches, though, Ross Lyons not
Oh.
going to look after us.
Good point.
all they're going to say is, oh, look, he saw he's banged up. We'll wait and see how he pulls up. Like, they're going to wait right to the end.
Yeah.
They were giving him a fitness test in the
In the
change
rooms before the game.
You know what I mean?
Dumb, thinking he was going to be playing.
Tom Canwell called his mum. Hey, mum, get in the game today. I'll come down, Tom.
Oh, you probably got tickets for
Yeah.
family.
I got your tickets too, mum. Oh, thanks, Tommy. Down they came. Guess what, mum? Oh, no, don't say it, Tom.
Not again.
All right, we'll see you down at Frankston.
Rowan Marshall's name would be mud in that household.
Oh, imagine Christmas.
Oh, he'd cop it, wouldn't he?
Oh, he would. Left, right and centre.
So, are we taking donuts then?
Yeah.
Running the gauntlet with it.
I'm
Yeah.
not holding a trade, waiting to see what happens. That's not count.
What
If
could
I was
you
in
do, Roy?
luxury, if I was in luxury trade mode, and I didn't have Max Gawn, I would consider
Yeah.
just pulling that trigger for the cash grab. We talked about doing it last week.
Yeah. Something's going to happen.
Something's going to
So
happen,
hard
all right.
Yeah.
Trading someone who just had a 123 and
Yeah, at an absolute
got
shadow.
through.
However, he's either going to play well like he does because he's a gun, but more than likely he's going to play with someone and have a bit of a chop out. And it's not going to be Tom Campbell. It'll be like Hayes.
It'll be Hayes, I reckon.
Yeah. So he's not going to score as well.
Now,
Magoo's News has gone to the pack.
as far as
recently,
Max goes, so he plays
after.
yeah, but he plays Soldo this week.
Yeah.
He then has a little trip to X-Area Island.
Oh, yes. Double teamed, though, now.
Oh, yes, good point. Then he's into the Blues.
Yep.
Hawthorn finishes with one of the easiest matchups you could ever dream of, which is the Swans.
Yeah, well, I like all of those
Yeah.
matchups, really.
He goes 110 for the rest of the year.
Max.
Easy.
He should.
Maybe we do that.
I could never recommend it. Rowan Marshall's too good, but this shadow, it's getting darker and darker.
It is.
And I want to jump.
You want to? Do
Well,
you?
it could be my ticket out.
It could. Ticket to the top 10K club.
Could be my it's the ticket to what I need to. I need to put money on top of Ashcroft. That's
Right.
basically.
You know what I'm going to start doing from here on in? Just matching his trades, right? So I can hold my lead.
How can you match my trades when you're still playing a bloody pack of kindergarten?
I'll back in my kindy kids over yours.
Windy from Kindy. Let's have a look at the most traded players already. Early doors here for AFL Fantasy Classic this week with Luke Nankervis, the Crow. He was a late in, but scored 67, so at 230k, people are jumping on the mid forward there. Josh Dunkley's coming back into size. Sam Flanders, that role is exactly what we've always wanted from him at the Suns with Jack Steele and LDU, other good premium options, value premium options that you can call them coming in. Now, the most traded out players, we have Will Ashcroft, who is in a lot of teams still. He's the most traded out after his ACL injury. Matt Johnson, Ben Keys, Angus Sheldrick, and Sam Walsh there with that hamstring, which is likely to keep him out for this week at least.
Yes.
Next one on the list, though, Cal, is Ben Hobbs.
Ben Hobbs.
Do you think you'll be trading him out?
He definitely goes for me. I can't have that. And I am going to be bringing in the two guys at the top of the list there, Dog, which were Nankervis and Josh Dunkley.
All right. I'm going your mate, Sick Dog. He's coming into my side with George Hewett, so that's my Ashcroft. I'm getting rid of Mills. Which, I know he had a 98 and he was solid. He was good. But he was playing outside on a wing, had to have goals. It's brutal.
It's only because he was a bit sore, mate.
I am
He'll be
doing
right.
a little bit more. He was sore, apparently. I am doing a little bit of thinking about that Marshall.
Are you really?
So stay tuned.
Keep an eye on that. I'm bringing Josh Dunkley back and getting in my boy, George Hewett, Super Huey, and that's at the expense of Ben Keys and Will Ashcroft.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
Alrighty, let's get into questions. You can also be hitting us up on our stories that we post there on Instagram at AFL Fantasy there as well. So let's go. Dylan wants to go Hobbs to Mills. Is it worth it?
No.
So I'm trading out Mills, but
Yeah, that's an upgrade.
It is an upgrade.
what's Sydney's scale look like?
I'll just open up the golden
He's a hard
folder.
watch, Millsy. I'll
Yeah,
give you
he
the hot
is.
tip.
Sydney go
He might still be sore.
white, red, green, white, white. So it's not too bad. Essendon this
Red.
week,
Who's the red?
GWS.
Okay.
That's still a trade I would happily pull.
Agree.
All right. Do we wait one more week on Dunkley because of the high break even?
I don't think you need to.
No.
You can go early if you want.
Yep. At this time of the season, if you're within reach
If
of
you
one
can
of these
afford it.
guys that are a step above the rest, you can just pull it, I
Yep.
reckon.
It's harder to take cash in each week as well, isn't it? Like you just want to.
Yeah, you want to spend it.
Yeah, it's points.
Yeah.
The cash in the bank is
Yep.
points you're missing out on.
All right. Okay. Thoughts on Luke Jackson and Bailey Smith? Let's look at him. Luke Jackson. So, any more news on Big Shrek Darcy?
No, he's not coming back anytime soon, I don't
I
think.
wouldn't think so.
So, it's a good move. What do you have in the end, LJ?
He
Wasn't
was
a ton
slightly
in the
disappointing in the end.
Looked like
because he was
could have
killing
been
it.
bigger. Yeah.
So he's got Geelong this week. I'll just tap away at that.
So I thought he was going to be very
Yeah.
good against Sydney. What did he end up with? 88.
So solid.
43 hit outs. So he obviously
So
dominated.
solid
the,
for him, not for merit.
No.
88.
No.
It can go from being a total
But he is an
disgusting
option,
sort
I
of-
think, if you wanted
Yeah,
that.
he's an option.
What's the ruck look like then for...
For Fremantle, they go. Well, they got Geelong this week
Okay.
at Geelong. They don't really have a ruckman, so they go and then into Brisbane, then West
goes
Coast.
tough.
So it's green, orange, dark green, light green, red. So it's fine.
Yeah. No, he's an option. And who was the other?
The other one was Bailey Smith, who was back on the weekend.
He was good.
He looked great.
Well, he probably hurt Jack McRae, for example, who wasn't very
goodness
good
me.
at all. What did McRae had? 69 he had. But Basilenka just hit the stat lines as well. So he had 25 touches, 7 marks, and 6 tackles.
That's
so
more
that's
like
the
it.
big one. There's 7 marks and 6 tackles he's doing.
That's
and,
him back. Yeah.
And that was something I was looking at before as well.
So cheap.
His time in the guts.
Yeah, 9%.
Yeah.
For Bailey
I felt like I
Smith.
saw him in there more than that. It just must have been at stoppages more than what I was expecting then.
Jack McRae, 30%. The big three were the main ones, Treloar, Libba, and Bond.
Jeez, Liver is so good.
He is.
120 he had.
So it was nothing to do with being thrown back in the guts or anything like that.
No.
He just seemed to have his license back to.
That was it. Was that his
run
first
where he
game back?
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you launch into it? I think you probably could, but there is still ways that Bevo can find
Yeah.
to cook you.
Yeah.
So yes, I think he looked good enough to pick up at that price. Can you trust Bevo? No, not at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, if you want to have a punt, I think it's a good one.
Harry, is Butters safe to jump onto now? So does he take that F6 spot in your rolling 22?
He maintains it.
Maintains it, yeah.
So he holds it. He didn't have to hold it, but you still.
They talked about that hip and adductor stuff
Big time.
pre-game, so...
And he slowed up in the last quarter again, and he had, I think, 2 stints on the bench in the last quarter.
Yeah.
The second one lasted probably 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
once again, quiet in the last. Once again, rode the pine a fair bit in the last. So he's not quite running out games at the moment. Could you get him though? He's still good for a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does X-Airy go for Rocky here?
Can't have X-Airy if he's sharing the ruck
No.
load. So yes, he goes.
He can go.
You got to try to get to max.
Yeah.
That's where you
which
go.
is still within reach.
Yep. Jackson or Flanders? So do you just go Flanders for that? Well, they've both got roles.
It's a good question.
It's got to be Flanders,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's Flanders.
It's Flanders.
He's ticked enough boxes now.
Got himself expensive.
What's he up to now?
I think it was 680 or so.
That's still cheap.
Oh, it is cheap for what he's doing, definitely.
He had 31 touches and 6 marks.
He's a good
Yeah.
player.
Yeah. I think
And that's a hard matchup. Like, that's a red matchup
Yeah.
for him, and he comes out with a 110.
Yeah, I think it's Flanders for me.
Who are you picking out of Docherty and Sinclair
Poor, good one.
It's got to be Doc,
for the scale?
and the fact that Doc's a better player. So here's a question for you. Who does Finn McGuinness go to this week from the Saints? Sinclair's got to be at the top of the list, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So there's a small concern as well.
That hits the profile of what he'd be doing, I reckon.
It does. So who did he end up going to this week?
Who was that? That was...
Oh, it was Rioli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to Rioli.
Yeah, so that's a
similar kind of
almost
profile.
like
Yeah.
for like. I'll just go to the roll on 22 for that, and it's Doc. Anyway.
It's Doc.
Lex has got, who's more of a priority, Dunkley or Sick Dog? Dunks means I feel day. Sick means I can loop Liam Henry into Windhager. What do you think about the looping game, Cow?
It's just cheating. It's not right. It's the wrong way to play the game.
Do you know what Roy's even thinking about
We weren't.
week?
Don't bring this up.
What's he gonna
I'm no
do?
cheat.
Bit of trading.
Mine's
trading
filth.
based on looping.
What is this nonsense?
Talk him through it.
Look, I'm an old man trying to play a young kid's game, right?
What are you doing? How does this
I
work?
probably won't even be able to spit it out because
It's
all right,
complicated.
let me have a go. So I've got Ashcroft who has to go.
Yes.
Right. So I'm trading him to Super Huey.
Yep.
That will occur on the opening night.
Okay.
Now I will put Huey on the pine.
Right.
Right, with an emergency on him.
Yep.
If he goes well, I will be then trading Keys up to Dunkley, and I will be taking Super Huey's score.
Right.
If Huey goes poorly, I will be trading Sheldrick up to someone like
LDU or something.
LDU.
That's absolutely the most... That's horrific.
What?
That's cheating to the max. You can't
It's
do...
within the rules.
Look, I've thrown the gentleman's agreement out.
Oh,
the window.
you're playing the Johnny Bairstow.
What do you think of that?
I think it's cheating. I also didn't understand it, but yeah.
Just too hard.
Send me some feedback.
Too hard for
See if you
V8's
think that's a
brain
good
to-
idea.
Come Friday night,
I just want to lock my trades in or to crack my can.
crack your can, make your two trades, sit back and just enjoy your weekend.
Right.
I
Sit
will.
there and go, oh, but what happens if he does this and then I'll put this guy here and
I'm not doing it all nervous like your voice was just then.
Too confusing.
I'm not doing it like this. I'm doing, man, he sucked. Bang! I'm going him.
Wow.
See? You say it
Well,
different.
it's very different now you put it that way.
Become a much more dedicated coach, Calvin, and you two might have some fantasy.
I can't hear you all the way out in the 20K club, dog. So can't hear what you have to say.
I'm 800 spots behind you.
Well, that's a lot. Imagine 800 people all lined up in a row. That's a long line.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
a long
throw
line.
something and hit you.
That's a long
So
line.
I call that gentleman's looping anyway.
That's far from gentleman's looping.
Right. Let's go to the next question. Sam wants to go Merrett to Bont. Is that a good move?
Yes.
And then moving Keys to Flanders.
Great move.
F5. Windhager will be at F6.
Don't get rid of Merrett. As much as I'm hating on him,
Merrett to Bont.
nah.
Merrett will outscore
Use another
Bont this
trade
week.
somewhere else.
Merrett will outscore Bont this week.
I think anything can happen at Ballarat.
After
At
this
Mars.
week, you are going to wish you still had Merrett.
Yeah. It is Merrett. Merrett is,
So you got to keep him,
Yeah.
and you got to try to find another way to get Bont.
yeah.
I think
It would be a hard watch not having Bont at the moment.
it would, but he does have his calf strapped like a ruckman.
He does.
And he's not taking ruck contests
And he's got Giants this week.
on the moon.
You're on the moon.
Lauren wants to go Briggs to Gawn or English. Is the answer still Gawn?
It is for me. Better player and way cheaper.
Value.
The money there is just too much. Yep.
But does money matter that much?
When you're getting arguably a better player.
Yeah, well.
So let's have a quick look at that. Gone is up to 8.30. We'll round that off. And English at 9.65.
You just couldn't justify it.
It's 130 odd K.
Mm.
It's a lot. The gap he's closing. Max went up 50K this week.
The gap is closing.
Very quickly.
But so's the Rowan 22.
Yep.
Nathan, do I delete my team? Needed to win my league matchup against my 16-year-old brother who's a first season player.
no.
I was top 250 for the round. Coughing an Ashcroft ACL, and his brother finished second for the round. That's some elite family coaching.
Isn't
man.
it
Good
ever?
work. Go, you guys. Wow.
Isn't them at the dinner table?
Oh, my God. Mr. First Year. Number
Yeah.
2.
It always happens though, doesn't it?
Another guy I'm happy for.
Yeah.
Yay. Well done.
Tia wants your definitive answer on this. Can get any position by the looks of it, but it's Keys to Dunkley, Libber, or Docherty. Are we crossing off Libber? I know we shouldn't.
We shouldn't, but that's elite company. So Libber's out.
Dunkley or Docherty?
Both have good scales.
I'm going Doc.
Yeah, I was going to go Dunk.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Dog? She wants a definitive
I will
answer.
Go Docherty.
Yeah, both good. You can't go wrong.
Both
What's
of them.
Docherty, the only thing is that Dunkley's coming off a bit of a calf thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can split it for me.
Okay. There you go.
He's good though.
Doc is the answer.
Right. Jacob, thoughts on prioritising like a Keys up to Sicily via Sheezel over a Windhager upgrade? So, Cow, trade out Keys or Windhager?
Keys.
Yeah,
That's what it is,
Keys.
essentially,
He's
isn't
going
it?
off back-to-back tons.
he is.
He needs to be in captain conversation. All right?
Do you want a story about Ben Keys?
Yes, please.
So he had 21 at half time, 0 CBAs.
Right.
In the second half, he had 8 CBAs and he pumped out his 60-point half, which he does. Now, this is the tale of the Keys. You'll get mixed roles within games.
Yep.
If he can put together 3 to 4 quarters as a midfielder, he tons up.
Yep.
But
Puts
he's also
together 3
that,
to 4 quarters of not being a midfielder.
yes, that could have been 30 points in 3 quarters. That could have been.
A guy like Windhager,
Oh, mate, Schoenberg and Crouch in.
That was the worry.
But then
2
if Laird
minutes
is
in.
back,
Yes.
like are they going to drop both of those guys? And
they'd drop one of those.
Sit up forward still?
Yeah, potentially. So he's just a worry. He's one that he can slap a 110 on your head too when you trade him out, but it's a tough matchup this week. So he gets ticked off as a trade.
Windhager, right, over the last couple of weeks, he has outscored the likes of Taranto, Merrett. The list would be massive of all these premium players. It's time that you guys give him a little bit more respect.
Dog's still got him, don't you?
What's that?
You
Do you
still
still
got
have
Windy.
Windhager?
Yeah, on my pine, like
Yeah.
any good coach would have.
Pen drop. What? What would you have him on your pine? He's a walking bucket.
He is. What happened to Windy tagging? Oh, this week.
This
it's
week
back.
it'll happen.
I forgot.
That's right, on the stick dog.
Yeah.
Gab's got,
Happy.
will Gawn become a DPP? Not now, because the DPPs are all done.
Yep.
But if you're thinking for next year, negative.
No
if he
chance.
didn't get in this last one, he's only playing more ruck now.
Yeah. No. The answer is no.
How did Grundy go on the weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah. Have a look at that.
Do you want me to have a look?
Yeah, I do.
Let's
Be
have a
very
look.
interesting.
He might have racked. He might have had a
Casey
big day.
Demons. Demons won. Grundy, scroll down.
Oh, boy.
Scored 72 points. 1 goal, 3, so he got his hands on it forward. That's not
Working
good
on his forward craft.
Had 12 hit-outs with, Shaki was in the ruck as well.
Oh, they really don't.
Verrill was in. Verrill had more hit-outs than
They really don't want him to ruck, do they?
he's not coming into that team.
No.
Nah. Because, I mean, that should be nervous weight for me, really.
Yeah.
Big Max.
It's no chance.
No, he's fine.
Matt Johnson, keep or trade. If you've got him on the bench, you can keep him, but I
He's got
think
a bit
it's
of money
trade,
on his
though.
head. It's a trade.
I'd trade him down
out.
to Nankervis, but is Nankervis the first one out there because he was a late in?
Yes, he could be.
Yeah, just
He played in defence,
whoever's
though.
like cheap and you think might play for 2 or 3 weeks.
So Matt Johnson had a 22 and was subbed.
Yeah.
God, see, you guys were
It could
getting
just-
90s out of him, and now look at that.
It's because of the
Unbelievable.
relationship I have with...
How do you do
yeah,
this?
it's good.
It's extraordinary.
It's dirty, isn't it?
I respect
I
it.
think we said Docherty over Dunkley in the end, but what about Sicily and Dunkley?
Dunkley by a mile for me.
Oh, Roy, don't hate
By
on
a
the
mile.
dog.
I do.
Don't hate on the
I can't
dog.
help it. I hate him.
He'll have a 150 this week.
He's got a game down here
And then he comes...
York Park here.
Yeah.
a couple of
Oh,
weeks
if
time.
What
he
round's
comes,
that?
If he comes, he hates it down here.
He'll come down here to make amends on his comments. What rounds he come down here, dog?
22.
Oh, against the Bulldogs. See what Essendon did against the
Give
Bulldogs?
up plenty of points to defenders. There's no roof here.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so your little chihuahua, mate, Sicily.
I'm coming down here with a sign.
Barking.
Yeah, I'm going to get into the PA over there and play like,
Wonder
who
if we
let the dogs out? As he warms up.
Green vest punishment for that week.
Oh, no.
If you've got it that week, you are singing that
Out loud.
out loud
to
from
the-
behind the goal square when you
to
walk
the
around
dog.
the back of the goals and sick dogs down there.
Talk to Rick on the mic. He might lend it to you.
Every time he gets it,
Who goes first? Keys, Berg, Day or Mills? It's Keys. Over Berg. Keys over Day. Keys over
just.
Mills. So
Just-
it's Keys
it's
then Mills
Keys.
for me.
Guess who the Berg has this week, Roy?
Yeah, but it's at Mars, cow.
He has the Bulldogs.
He should be fine.
He should take 10 marks again. Gosh. How am I getting away with those scores?
That's awesome.
Windhager and Berg.
Yeah, but Berg does this when he's
Yeah,
down
he can,
back.
He can.
Riley wants to know, Calvin,
Yeah.
is Gaff an option?
Yes. Yes, he is, Roy.
No, he's not.
Come on.
Nah.
Why not?
No way.
Is there not some sick part of you that
What's
wants
his
to do
price?
it?
No.
I'll get it up.
5. It's
Oh.
similar to Hewett, isn't it?
547.
Cheaper than Hewett.
Look, it's ridiculously cheap.
that
He's
right?
coming off 2
What was
good
Hewett?
scores, obviously.
Yeah, he
I think
is.
he had
No, Hewitt's
109.
100 less.
Oh, is he? Oh, you're going Hewett.
464, yeah.
So he had, 109 on the weekend,
Yeah.
88 or so the week before with a vest.
Yeah.
Elite scoring.
He's back.
You're just not going anywhere near that, no. You're going to Huey.
Yeah, you are. And you're saving about 100K.
Yes.
But, hey, isn't it fun to talk about him again?
Yeah.
It is.
What to do with Tom Mitchell? Subbed out.
Got to trade.
That's a problem. Yep. Yeah, he's got to go.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep.
Docherty or Sinclair? We said Docherty there
Doc,
for
yep.
Zaid. Is Josh Kelly worth it?
No.
Not the headache.
For 800, he is. But
Without a doubt, he is a bargain price for what he can produce, but he's got a bad run of games ahead. If he had a bit more green in that,
Yeah.
I would consider it, but no, not for me.
James has got Nankervis or Banks. I'm just
Probably
going to say Banks
Banks.
because he's been in the side.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like Nankervis was a late in.
It was a late in.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a concern.
Yeah.
That is an issue. Caleb Daniel or Jackson McRae? Based on last week, Caleb Daniel.
Oh, yeah, no. Based on a decent body of work, Caleb Daniel.
Agree.
Dunks or Steele? Haven't had that one.
Dunks or Steele?
I'd take the value of Steele, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you are looking at... There's about 100K in that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Like as well, like obviously Dunkley has the mid-forward status. Do you want to read your DPPs in your midfield? Or?
I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't have any there.
But I'll get
I'm
one
out.
back this week, I reckon.
Will you?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
I'm full. You don't have any
I'm
there, do
full.
You
but
are a fool.
Yes.
But it depends on how dirty I get this week with my trades.
See,
One will come back potentially.
don't know why you do it to
Huey's-
yourself.
If Huey's a bad man on Friday night,
He'll be good.
I'll get one back
Yep.
in there.
Oh, okay.
Right. Anyway, let's call it done.
All right.
Call it done.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday night for AFL Fantasy Live, 6:15 on afl.com.au, the AFL Live official app. You can also get us on Facebook there, but also that is a podcast afterwards. In this podcast feed, if you're listening to this and you haven't already subscribed on Apple Podcasts or click the follow button on Spotify, go and do that. If you're feeling nice, click a 5-star review or write a review and all that sort of stuff as well. It'd be good. We haven't had any for a while, so...
No.
Good to, a little pat on the back.
Come on, guys. Get around us.
Doing something nice. So, thanks very much for tuning in and keep clicking back to afl.com.au for all the news that you need, including Roy's Wednesday stock take, which I hear is going to be one of the greatest pieces ever written.
Oh,
this
as
week.
it is most weeks.
As it is, yes.
The numbers speak for themselves.
Yes. All right. Thanks, legends. We'll see you later.